Hello, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Now, I wanted to talk to you today about how to finally stop eating, fill the blanks. Okay, because I believe that everybody, right? We all have this certain type of food or something we would like to control how much we are eating of, but we may be struggling with. And so I don't know, maybe it is sugar, what you may be struggling with, right? That maybe you are keeping a little bit in your diet and for some time it's manageable, but then eventually it sneaks in back into your diet in bigger quantities. Or maybe it is crisps, maybe it is fries, maybe it is chocolate, maybe it is wine. And so I just want to give you some ideas on how to finally maybe move altogether from that particular food. And I will use for this as an example chocolate, because that is my personal case. And so yeah, so obviously it is really about making a decision. You know, like they say, we are only a decision away from anything we want in life, right? But it kind of is about a decision, but it is multidimensional, because obviously we can learn. Okay, so let's say the chocolate. So I learned very early that chocolate, at least the milk chocolate, the milk variety, is not great for me, right? That it's got lots of sugar, it's got lots of fat. The more I eat it, the more I want it. And consciously, on conscious level, I basically knew that that was not good. So eventually I learned how to replace the really refined type high in sugar with dark high quality chocolate. Okay, dark cocoa, 80%, very low in sugar, basically good quality. Now, however, it was not working for me. Okay, there came time when I realized that it's actually not working for me, because chocolate per se, even if it is the highest quality, even if it is raw, okay, it does have caffeine, it does have certain type of stimulants, and they happen not to agree with me at all. They happen to interfere with my sleep, with my they happen to actually kind of like trigger me in the way that I feel more anxious and I kind of lose peace. My mind keeps swirling around. Okay, so when can I have another piece, and have I had today already, and do I have some, on the shelf just in case? Basically this kind of obsessive thinking, kind of like thinking which makes me feel like I'm in jail. And so on conscious level, again, I knew that it just was not working for me, but I struggled with how to make myself not to eat it altogether. Because there on one hand I was craving this peace and freedom of just not even thinking about chocolate at all, but on this other hand I was stuck with this, like, yes, but dark chocolate is good for you, it's anti-inflammatory and it's really not that bad, and why don't you keep at least something in your diet, so yeah, not too much of a weirdo, and with this kind of stuff. And so I knew that I needed to do something else. And so next step for me was, okay, let's reverse the cost versus benefit, because everything in life is about cost and benefit, right? And so what is the cost? So the cost of the chocolate for me was obviously the high, right? The pleasure. There was a huge emotional component to it, right? To make myself feel good, distracted maybe from naughty boys or funny emails I would get, or from being tired, or any kind of discomfort, to get that immediate pleasure, and that would be the benefit. But then what about the costs? And so I sat down and I started writing all the costs. So it would be feeling distracted constantly, losing my peace, constant kind of, having to watch my weight, because I realized that also eating dark chocolate is like increasing my appetite and making me eat other foods as a consequence of eating dark chocolate. And so I saw suddenly on the paper so many costs which were attached to this short-term benefit of pleasure. But honestly, that still wasn't enough. And that still wasn't enough because it was conscious brain I was attacking, okay? It was conscious brain. Yes, there was the emotion, of course, also, because after all, I was eating a lot of dark chocolate also for emotional reasons. But I was still missing something. I was still missing that kind of energetic disconnect. Okay, that energetic decision that I don't want to, and I really don't want to be out of control, and I don't want to feel this, discomfort, which was coming for me at least when eating dark chocolate, or even homemade treats made from cocoa powder. And so I started doing one thing, okay? I started doing meditation when I started focusing on opening my third eye. And that I was doing because once we open our third eye chakra, what happens is that we have a bigger clarity and ability to see things for what they are. And without realizing, okay, now it was through my inner work, it wasn't actually to target eating dark chocolate per se, okay? It was just that I was doing some inner work and this meditation was coming up as part of it. And guess what happened? I realized finally, and I finally saw what eating dark chocolate or even homemade treats made from dark cocoa powder, what they actually are truly in their light. And do you know what came up for me? What came up for me was this vision. That dark cocoa powder and anything made out of it is like mermaids to me from Pirates of Caribbean movie. I don't know whether you have seen it, but you know the mermaids there, okay? They are so beautiful, right? In one of those movies, they are so gorgeous, and they have stunning skin and beautiful eyes and beautiful figure and beautiful voices, and they sing these gorgeous songs, and that's how they attract the pirates to follow them. And then eventually, once they have them, once they kiss them, once they have them, they pull them down, and they turn into these horrible creatures, and they pull them down deep into the ocean, right, into the sea. And that's what I realized, that's what the dark cocoa is for me. Okay, it's all dressed up in all these wonderful benefits which I'm hearing and reading about, right, which science has backup for, right, as anti-inflammatory and antioxidants and all that stuff. So that's what it's dressed up for me in, like this gorgeous stunning mermaid. But once it tangles around me, once I, have it in my diet, and once I kind of start unconsciously increasing the quantities of it I have, then it grabs me fully and it pulls me down. And it pulls me down into such an extent that I can have, I don't know, homemade treats worth of 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder a day. That's how strong it can get at times. And so I just finally saw that. I just finally had that vision and got that clarity. And you know what? That was it. That was the final thing I needed, because I knew consciously why chocolate wasn't great for me, okay? Again, talking about my experience, why it wasn't good for me, because obviously of the anxiety, interference with the sleep, okay, of kind of interfering with my peace. So that was basically the physical side, the conscious knowing, but the emotional and the energetical came in forms of the mermaids for me. And I know it may sound like a little bit strange for somebody, but honestly, the minute you can find clarity like that with your food of choice, which you find lurks always back into your diet and takes over you, right? And it can be, as I said, it can be sugar, it can be chips, it can be wine for somebody, okay? You can start with 1 glass of wine a week, and before you realize you're having 2 glasses of wine a day at dinner time, okay? So it can be with anything, but once you gain this clarity, okay, and you create this image and it's vivid and it's connected to something meaningful for you, it just makes it so much easier and it just suddenly clicks. So it is really about finding the cost benefit, really also listing down on paper the cost it creates for you in terms of your energy, your distraction, maybe financial cost, maybe your emotional energy, your ability to focus, being with others, and so on. Then also obviously doing maybe meditation, okay, about it. And that type of really focusing on the third eye chakra, right, to open it up and see things for what they are, really helped me. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. It's a little bit longer video today, but maybe you'll find it beneficial. Regardless, do let me know if this resonates, and yes, also what is that food you find kind of triggering and lurking back into your diet and a little bit having a little bit more power over you than you would wish. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful weekend.